In this video, I will show you how to set up grades in Schoology so that you can transfer between Schoology and PowerSchool. So here is a little summary of the steps. We are going to go to PowerTeacher Pro, check on our categories there, apply any grade weighting if it applies, if it's applicable to your courses. So part 1 is to go to PowerTeacher Pro. Then we're going to go to Schoology, set up your categories, make sure they match with PowerSchool, choose a couple of settings, and then match them up. So a little bit of work in PowerTeacher Pro and a little bit of work in Schoology. So here we go. So first step in PowerTeacher Pro, go to your grading menu and choose categories. Grading and categories. Here's a list of all the categories you've ever used. Take note of the ones you want to use for this year, or maybe you want to add some new ones. You decide. So I'm going to use the same ones that I've used in the past. So I'm just going to remember to create these with my Schoology course. So I'm going to remember project, classwork, and test. You choose the categories that work for your class. If you want to add any categories this year, you'll come up to the plus sign and choose to add a category. The second thing we're going to do is change or apply weighting if it's necessary for your course. So in PowerTeacher Pro, we're going to go down to settings, choose traditional grade calculations, and you're going to set up your semester weighting, your quarter weighting. If in the quarter you have certain percentages for work versus assessments, this is where you go. You go to actions, and you can change this to category weighting, and you can choose classwork, maybe add another category like assessments, and you can change your percentages here. This is nothing new. This is what we've done in the past. This is just a reminder we continue to do it. Okay, so that's for the quarter. For the term, a lot of teachers choose just to do a term weighting so that the semester grade is an even weight of Q1 and Q2. So that's where you do this as well. All right. Once you have applied your weightings, if you do that, you can copy them to your other courses by clicking on this little gear in the top right corner, and you can copy your weighting to another class. And you can choose your classes, or you can choose it within a class, so from first semester to second semester. All right. So the first part of this is done. We've gone to PowerTeacher Pro. We checked our categories under grading. And then we checked our traditional grade calculations in case we wanted to do any kind of weighting. All right, so now our next step is to go to Schoology. So in Schoology, I'm going to go to the class that I want to change. And there's two parts in Schoology. Part 1 starts with the grade setup page. So you go to grade setup, and at the top we're going to add categories, and we're going to make sure that they match the PowerSchool PowerSchool categories. So type those in. If you applied weighting in PowerSchool, you're going to want to apply weighting in Schoology so they match. So check this box for weight categories and apply the appropriate weighting. And whichever category you think you're going to use the most, you can go ahead and mark it with a star. That'll make it the default option on projects or assignments. So your category weighting is done. Now on this page, you're going to scroll down a little bit, and we're going to check the visibility settings. And this is just a recommendation of PowerSchool. So I'm going to follow that recommendation and mark those two visibility settings and click Save Changes. Now, you have to set up these same categories to other classes, but there is a button here towards the top of the page. So after I save my changes, I'm going to click this Add. Nope, wrong spot. I'm going to go to the upper right and choose Copy Settings, and you can copy these categories from this particular course over to another course. And the only tricky part is knowing which course is which, because all of your courses have loaded for the whole year, semester 1 and 2. So you can do that if you like. And so that's part 1 in Schoology. We added our categories. We weighted them if it applies to your courses. We checked the visibility settings, and we possibly copied them to your other courses. All right, part 2 in Schoology is now we're going to do the connection with PowerSchool. So on the left-hand side at the bottom is the PowerSchool app. This is an app, or think of it as a link to PowerSchool. So we're going to click on it. The first time you click on this, you have to click approve. After that, it should automatically sign you in. And we're just going to configure your Schoology categories with your PowerSchool categories. So we're going to line them up and make sure they match. Now, I'm not using all of my PowerSchool categories, so it's okay if some of your categories are blank. I'm just going to match up the ones I'm using for this year. Match those up. Save your changes at the bottom. Oops. And you'll notice this is the same place you'll also be able to go to sync grades. When you click on sync grades, it gives you the option to force the sync to PowerSchool. And it will also tell you if there are any sync errors. So this PowerSchool app, this icon on Schoology is where you can go to check your syncing. All right, so just as a review, these are the steps I just went over. First, go to PowerTeacher Pro, check your categories, add any new ones if you need to, and apply any weighting if you do that with your course. And then the second section is to go to Schoology, go to the grade setup area, create your categories, choose the same names as your PowerSchool categories, apply weighting if it's part of your course, hide the overall grade and visibility settings, and copy to other courses if applicable. And then the second part is to match those categories by going to the Schoology PowerSchool app, match them up, and then repeat those steps. Repeat the matching up for your other courses. All right, that's all we know so far. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.